Is this thing working? How do I know if it's working? Oh, I can see myself. Haha, yes. Ah. How do I know if it's working? What do you mean? I've got an echo. What do you mean? Oh, you cough. Hello, everyone. My usual team of goblins wasn't here to help me set up. I had to get some help from the orcs who seem to think they know what's going on, but didn't necessarily. Well, I'm sorry. You do know what's going on. It's fine. Welcome to the Liching Hour. I am the Lich. Tonight is XCrawl night. We finished up XCrawl last week in Brooklyn. Today's episode is based in Toronto. And it's New Year's Eve when you're tuning in. The big XCrawl event on New Year's Eve. But before we get into it, let's hear a word from tonight's sponsor. Teeter's Pleasure Palace. Looking to unwind after a long day of slaying, but still need to scratch that kinky itch? Look no further than Teeter's Pleasure Palace, now with revamped torture rooms. Teeter has just the place for you. Play games, win prizes. Take a spin on our Wheel of Woes to earn tokens and cash them in for tickets. For every 100th ticket, you get one free lash from our very own succubus, the mistress of misery. Please, one at a time, fellas. Teeter's Pleasure Palace. What the hell is wrong with you? I cannot tell you how many times I've been to Teeter's. No, seriously, I can't tell you. I would not want to. No one should tell anybody how many times they've been to Teeter's. So, Teeter's is our sponsor for this evening. We have a new cast of players who are entering the stadium as we speak. As a quick setup for anybody who doesn't know what XCrawl is. XCrawl is imagine a world just like our own. Imagine a world like our own, except that for that world grew up through centuries of magic and actual adventuring, and things happen, but they've kind of evolved to the modern age where they have cars and stadiums and big games. And in their big games, instead of football and baseball and basketball, are big dungeon slaying arenas where we're in a big stadium. You're watching from home, but there's a huge crowd in a stadium, and there's a topless dungeon in front of them, and adventurers come in. We cheer for the adventurers. They're decked out in gear from sponsors, and they've got to fight, and usually monsters and traps and tricks, and if they die, they die. And we follow these guys. Tonight is a level 2 adventure. We have a couple returning people from the last set of XCrawl, which was set in Brooklyn, which was a level 1. Entering the arena tonight is, our first one looks to be Strom Owlbear Gurdon. He's a dwarf. He's a new guy in our little realm here. We're just meeting him. He's a little bit, we hear he doesn't like teams very much. He's kind of an animal. Yeah, he's screaming something at the crowd. It looks, yeah. His favorite weapons is a nasty little hand axe of his. It's said that the crusted red on there is blood from his very first victim, or victim, such a harsh word. His very first kill. He is toting a special sponsored shield today. Teeter's Saucy Saucer. It's black. It looks to be a black ebony shield with rubber spikes. Probably gives them a couple extra points of damage. Dwarves in Dungeon Crawl Classic are known for their shield bashing ability. Next up, we've got Shayla, Sunburn Steelwagon. She's a favorite from the last game. She is Sunburn is a cleric of no unheard of power. That's not even a right word that's saying, but she's a very powerful cleric that had some really great moves the last game. Then we've got Mike's Brick Tommins. Brick is not your normal thief. Brick is a big dude. He's a big, you imagine thieves to be small, lanky, hiding in shadows type people. This guy looks like shadows hide behind him. He favors 2 daggers, and he likes to fight two-handed, right up in your face. But tonight he also has 3 javelins, given to him by the sponsor. They're referred to as Teeter's Pokers. So we got him, and then we've got Tina Supernova Gosling. Tina is a returning favorite from our last game in Brooklyn as well. Tina is a elf with some awesome spell power. But she's very, very handy with a bow as well. And then finally, we have a mysterious newcomer. We're not quite sure how many games he's been in, but he is the Beekeeper. As you can see from his robed apparel, and the darkness of his robe, you can't see inside his cowl. There's rumors that he actually has a bee head. But they call him the Beekeeper because, yep, there it is. He has a giant bee familiar. The bee's name is Bee Nasty. And it certainly looks nasty. And it looks to be a little bit more of a ham than its master is, as it's flying around his head there. Tonight, that is the group that's going to be entering the games tonight, or the next several nights, because we probably won't finish it all. We'll get so far tonight. But any questions on how to play Dungeon Crawl Classics, please speak up in chat. If you want to assume control of a character for a minute and say what they're doing and what they could possibly do, or if you want to assume control of a opponent, an enemy or something, speak up in chat. We'll work it in to the story. Let's see what else. Yeah, any questions? You got that? Let's see, where are we located tonight? In Toronto. It's New Year's Eve for this contest. I'm receiving a note now that says that there's some rumor that the god Bacchus has been meddling in the affairs tonight, which is not in it's supposedly forbidden, but he's there's rumors and thoughts that he might be affecting and judging by the crowd that's there tonight, there's an unnatural amount of drunken behavior going on in the crowd tonight. In the stands, there's a lot of a lot of PDA, a lot of different things going on. People are throwing bottles at the glass wall that separates the crowd from the dungeon. It's going to be a good night for all intents and purposes. We are at the Toronto. This XCrawl is held at the Toronto Memorial Athletic Center in the North American Kingdom, where most of these XCrawls are placed. We're tuning in now, just as the team's been announced, and it looks like the dungeon DJ has just spoken, and he's kind of opened it up for the players to begin the event. What we see is the adventurers are about to enter what looks to be a large tournament field. The field is there's a long track in the center of the arena. It looks like a medieval jousting field. There's a long track in the middle of the arena with a low rail running through its center. There's a somber tune playing, like a mournful fife accompanied by a marshalling drum. Dum, dum. Looks to be that there's some rain tonight. A slight drizzle. The field is ringed by what appears to be a low stone wall. Just outside the wall, to the left, is a raised galley. It's another set of seats inside the arena. There's the more stadium seats that are outside of this area, but then there's some seats inside that are set up to be like bleachers, full of humans and elves and gnomes, all dressed in medieval finery. At the top of the gallery is a covered box where you see a stout man dressed as a king, flanked by a queen in an exquisite gown and jewelry, and several courtiers and guards in full mail. Just inside the wall is a row of dozens. Just inside the wall as well is a row of dozen men-at-arms in archaic ringmail, all turned slightly to face the doorway that we know the players look like the players are going to be coming out of. They're standing very still at attention, holding spears and shields ahead of them. The king and the noblemen in the gallery are all wearing obvious nom-com badges. Nom-com badges means they're not going to be opponents. The characters cannot fight. The players cannot fight them. So we know those guys aren't. The men-at-arms, however, the guys that are down on the ground, the soldiers, they are not wearing any badges, so they're probably in play. We can't see too much of those guys. It seems like we can't even see over their shields. Just to the south of the gallery is a 30-foot tall stone tower with crenellations. And it looks like we see a little. I can tell that there might be a little man hiding up there. He's doing something, but he's hiding behind behind one of the crenellations. Um, and then down below that tower, we see a knight in amber full plate armor, big barrel helm, and a shield. And he's standing next to this war horse that's spitting and snorting. And he's got a squire that's holding onto the reins and a lance. So maybe this is going to be a big jousting event. This first part of the game might be a joust. Off to the right or to the left of that knight, there's another squire holding the reins of another armored horse. So yeah, it looks like maybe these players are gonna be jousting. The players are entering the arena through the door across from the knight. Everybody's giving them a big applause. It looks like our ham for the night is gonna be our hamming tonight's gonna be split between Brick, Owlbear, and the Bee. Nasty. Bee Nasty. They come in, they're doing the flexing. They're looks like they're really ready. Maybe they've had a little bit to drink. We don't know, in the break room before coming out in the green room. Oh, it looks like a jester is walking up to them, and we're going to tune in now to the microphones down there. The jester is, well met, heroes. Choose a champion to ride against the Amber Thane. After the first pass in the list, the ground fight shall begin in earnest, so ready yourselves. Champion, your mount awaits. Looks like the players are looking at each other, probably trying to decide which one of them is going to get on the horse and joust. Let's roll. We're going to see if we're gonna have the players roll intelligence checks. Let's see. We'll start with the thief, with Brick. So Brick rolls a 16. Brick's got a gut feeling that something's not right here, and he might be right. He walks over to, tells, it looks like he's talking to everybody. He's going to be the one that's getting on the horse, or at least he's going to be the one that approaches the horse. The squire brings up the other war horse to him, and it looks like he's checking out the horse. We're going to roll a detect traps with Brick. Brick gets a find trap +5. So, yeah. Let's see. Yep. Oh, looks like. Oh, he's pointing. He's pointing at the jester, who, like, he just kind of turns and walks away. He's like, "That I'm not getting paid to do this." And he starts yelling up at the stands, and it looks like there might be a trap. Some officials have come out. There is a trap underneath the saddle. The referees blow a whistle kind of thing. Looks like they're doing this. It looks like the king is getting up. Looks pretty embarrassed. He's telling the players, I'm very sorry. This is what are you thinking? He's pointing, obviously laying blame on the Amber Thane, who is getting on his horse kind of nonchalantly. Looks like the king is now promising that the players are now fighting for the queen herself, and he trips a little bit. Looks like he's pretty drunk. The players are kind of talking, and it looks like Owlbear wants to just go. It's go time for Owlbear. The other players seem to be holding him back. He wants to get going, and he's broke away. Owlbear, the other players, most of the players are lawful, with the exception of the beekeeper, who's neutral. Owlbear is a chaotic dwarf, which isn't is pretty rare for dwarves, but he's just he wants to live his life beating people's heads in, and that's all. He doesn't want to live by any rules but his own and the rule of axe. And he's heading off towards the Amber Thane. Suddenly, what we see is when he starts charging the knight, those men-at-arms, the 12 that are standing to the side at the base of the gallery, all swing around, and it looks like these were just poles with armor on them, and behind them are 12 nasty looking little goblins. That it looks like the fight's on. We got 12 goblins, we got this knight on a horse, we got our 5 people in a party, and we've got Owlbear rushing the knight on his warhorse. But let's not forget that weird little human hanging out at the top of the tower. We'll see. We'll come back to him and see what's going on. But I think we need to roll initiative for everybody. We're gonna roll for Owlbear first. So Owlbear rolls a 1. Brick rolls a 19. Everybody gets modifiers based on their agility. So Brick is actually ending up with a 21. Rolling for Sunburn, the cleric, she's 9. Roll for the beekeeper, rolling a 5. And Tina Supernova Gosling, she's at 14. The knight on the warhorse, the Amber Thane, he rolled a 15. The goblins, when you fight a group of creatures, you roll initiative for the whole group. They roll a 5. And then that little dude hanging up in the tower, whatever he's about, he rolls a 16. Okay, so we have, who's highest? Brick is our highest one. Brick, and then, let's see. He's 17, she's 16. The Amber Thane is 18. Okay, so the knight is next, and then the guy on top of the tower is next, and then Tina is next, and then the goblins, no, beekeeper, right? Yep, beekeeper beats the goblins. And I have a feeling Owlbear trips on the field or something, or he's running through the wet, sloppy mud, and he's moving slow. All right, so Owlbear isn't running. He's charging, but it's like a fast, pissed off walk. He means business. He's a juggernaut. He's not afraid. Yeah, it might take him a minute to get there, but when he gets there, he's going to cause some major problems. So Owlbear is last. Any thoughts of those watching who have some questions about what's going on in the scene? We've got a large arena, and fights about to break out. Anybody got questions? Anybody wants to add something? Anybody wants to, throw down? Let me know. Okay. Brick is first. Our thief is first. He was, if we remember, he is standing next to the horse with the saddle, with the bombed saddle. What if Brick jumps on the horse? What if Brick jumps on the horse in order to, the other guy's got a horse but then again, maybe he doesn't want to attack the knights. Brick is going to look at the situation. He's got his Owlbear dwarf heading towards the knight on the horse. He's got 12 goblins, that's a lot of goblins. He might be wanting to jump on the horse and go right for the goblins and charge the goblins. I think that's great. He's going to take, in Dungeo Classics, you get an action and a move. His action is going to be to jump on the horse, and then he's going to start trucking. And he's going to start moving towards the goblins. That's going to be his action for the turn. His intent is to just start laying waste to the goblins with the warhorse. Brick is cool. All right, so that was Brick. The Amber Thane, this knight, he, being charged by Owlbear, he's got this huge lance that he'd been handed to. While this was all happening, he was getting on the horse and having his squire hand him his lance. He, facing the facing Owlbear, he rides up just far enough. He points his lance, and suddenly shit fires out of his lance. To the amazement of the crowd and all of us, this amber liquid flies out of his lance magically, and let's roll to see if it hits him. Oh no, it hits. This amber liquid hits Owlbear as he's trudging through it. Owlbear needs to make a fortitude save, and then we'll see what happens if he succeeds or if he fails. Got fort save of 12. Wow. So Owlbear is not going to be rolling good tonight, apparently. So Owlbear hits him. He goes like this, and we hear him say, "It's whiskey." And he took a whole hit right to the face. So good thing dwarves tend to have better drinking tolerances than most people. It looks like he's yelling, "Just makes me a better looking dwarf." You see him grinning as he starts heading. He again starts walking towards the Amber Thane. So apparently this knight has a lance that shoots whiskey out of it. How bad could that be? We'll see. All right. All right. It looks like that guy on top of the tower isn't. He peeks out. Nobody's seen him yet, and he peeks back down. Okay. Next up, it looks like Tina Supernova Gosling is jumping into action. She, let's see. She does. We know that she does have a good array of spells that she can cast. I think she's going to cast something. It looks like she might be casting something. She hasn't grabbed. We know she has her bow, but she hasn't equipped it yet. So it looks like she's moving her hands. Yes, she might be casting something. For those of you who don't know, at some point I'm going to stop telling everybody all these things, but maybe you don't know. When you cast spells in Dungeon Crawl Classics, depending on what happened when you first cast a spell, you might have something that happens that's unique to you. And in her case, it's a kind of a crazy. All of her spells she rolled crazy on these. It's called Mercurial Magic. She rolled crazy on the chart, so all her spells do crazy things in addition to the normal spell effect that she does. And this happens when she casts it. So actually, first up, we should see if she casts a spell. We don't know what she's casting yet. She does. Let's see if she succeeds. She's got a spell check of +1. She rolls a 12. And that is going to succeed. Okay. So we're watching Tina. Most of the team is back at the other side towards the door. Across the field from them is the knight. Owlbear's kind of in the middle of the field. The knight's actually a little bit further closer because he rode forward to shoot Owlbear. Brick is over here. He's on the horse racing across the track. The goblins and the goblins are over here on the other side of the field. For sake of just explanation, we got goblins in the west, and Brick is in the east heading towards them on his warhorse. Tina starts doing some signs with her thing, and suddenly we see all these little look like little demons all flowing out of her pockets and out of all the places around her. and flowing off of her across the ground around her. She's just, and we can almost hear them making little sounds as she's casting. It's it's nuts. Her other teammates are moving away from her. Who knows what she's casting? Um, okay. Uh, it looks like. Oh, let's see how it manifests. This will help us. It looks like an egg is shimmering. An egg has appeared in front of her. What looks like an egg. It's just shaped like an egg. It's shimmering and glowing, and it's cracking. It cracks and hatches, and out pops what looks like a pup of some sort. Um, but as it drops and kind of stands up, it's much bigger. It looks like she's summoned a wolf out of the thin air, and now she's talking to it and she's sending it out. And this wolf has taken off toward the goblins. Um, looks like some of the little demon things that came up around her are riding it, and as it heads towards the. I'm gonna make a note on her card. It'll have the same initiative as she does. So that was Supernova's turn. She pulls out a wolf out of thin air. Right on. It is now the beekeeper's turn. What is the beekeeper going to do? He doesn't look like... Oh, it looks like the beekeeper is holding also a Teeters sponsored weapon, the Teeters staff of poking. And who knows what else he's got underneath those robes. But he doesn't... The beekeeper doesn't look like he's much of a fighter. He looks like a little... like there could just be like a couple goblins on top of each other's shoulders inside his robes. We're not quite sure what's going on. But he raises his hand, and the bee shoots off towards the goblins. It's not going to go far enough. It's heading towards the goblins. That bee looks like it does some nasty stuff too. And he is going to cast a spell. Okay. His manifestation that he rolls his Mercurial Magic for this particular spell doesn't do anything that you're going to be able to see. But, okay. So... he rolls a 3 on a spell check. Yeah, he rolls a 3 on a spell check. Which he might have to... Yeah. Alright, so we see the bee shoot off towards the goblins. The beekeeper raises his hands. He looks like he's going to do something. And then his hands shake and they fall to the fall. So whatever happened... functionally, mechanically, what happened is he rolled bad and forgot his spell. So he doesn't have that spell now for the rest of the game, which is not good. It was actually Magic Shield, so he is out of Magic Shield for the game. For this particular game. Not good showing for the beekeeper. Not yet, at least. It is the goblins' turn. They are up. What are we doing, goblins? You nasty little buggers. Looks like they all have hand axes. And what's that? Looks like they might have something tucked in their shirt. Let's see. The goblins are looking. They have, looks like a guy in a warhorse charging them from one side. It looks like a wolf that got pulled out of thin air on the other. You see one give a call, and they all jump behind that stone wall that's there, and they pop back up, and they all have blowguns, and they're all shooting at the wolf that's charging them with a little demons riding on it. A couple of them are shooting at it. got one hit, one miss, another hit. That was a 19. 3 hits, 4 hits, 4 hits. 4 blow darts go into the wolf, and it stumbles and skids and doesn't even make it any further. That was 5 shots. 5 shots. 5 of the goblins shot, 4 hit. So the other ones, let's see, how far does blowguns go? Yeah. What's max distance a blowgun? 60 feet range. 60 feet. Seems like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. They'll try. I think the person that's closest to them, if they're gonna all like focus fire on somebody, would be Owlbear, right? They're coming at Owlbear, who's trudging across the field still towards the Thane Knight. So let's see, that was 5. We've got 7 blow darts coming at. You hear a yell up. These are smart little guys. These are not your typical, well, most goblins are kind of smart. These are crafty. These are sneaky. These are especially crafty. Well, they only pick the smartest people to play in XCrawl games because they want to give the players a challenge, right? So these guys all focus fire on Owlbear. Let's do which is kind of good because Owlbear has some pretty awesome armor class. He is wearing chainmail as he trudges across his shield, and he's got a shield. That was not good. Right. Actually, you know what? That was 1 miss. So that was that's 6. We're gonna roll 6 more d20s. All right, we got a 17, a 19, an 18, and a 19. Wow. All right. So an 11 and a 4. So we got 4 hits here, folks. 4 blow darts come shooting across. There's a they darken the skies with their blow darts. And I guess he'll fight in the dark. Owlbear is taking damage. The darts themselves don't do a lot of damage. Unfortunately for Owlbear and everyone else is they are poisoned. You got Owlbear. They are poisoned, and he needs to make a DC check and a fort check in order to not become nauseous. It's not kill you outright, but it is going to affect him. Yep. All right, so he needs to make a fortitude check on 4 hits. He's a dwarf with some high fort save. He's got +3 on his fort save. So made it, did not make it. So he takes 4 points of damage, and one of the darts, it was a culmination of all 4. He finally takes a little bit of the damage from it's not damage, it's he becomes nauseated for 1d3 rounds, which is 1d3 is a d6 divided by 2 for 3 rounds. He's getting -1 to attack rolls for 3 rounds. 3 rounds. And he's got to take 4 points of damage. Okay. That was the goblins. Nasty, nasty little goblins. Guess whose turn it is? No, it's not his turn. It is Sunburn's turn. Sunburn just witnessed. She's our cleric. She's a little bit of a beast. She's a big one. She's a big girl. Think a little bit more like Brianna Tarth. She is checking out what's going on. She's got just the thing. Because clerics can cast spells too, you know. What's she going to pull out of her hat? Clerics don't have to worry about manifestations and all that other junk. They just cast. They talk to their peeps and they cast. It looks like she's raising her hands high to the sky and she's calling out a name she's calling out something. In her spell check, she gets a +3. She's 1d20 +3. She rolls a 17 +3 is 20. Perfect. She raises her hand to the sky. She speaks some word of power we couldn't catch, and then she drops her hand and she points at the goblins. And across the field, a circle of darkness erupts around the goblins, encasing them behind that wall. We can't see in, and I'm assuming that means they can't see out. She has cast darkness on them, and because of her roll, she's able to do a point within 100 feet. So if she hadn't rolled that good, it wouldn't have worked. She was feeling herself. It's 20 feet radius, which encompasses all the goblins pretty much behind that wall. And it's going to last for one turn. So their next round, they're not going to be able to see. They're going to have to move out of it or find their way out of it. So that was, thank you very much, Sunburn. Awesome. Finally, we have Owlbear. Owlbear does not give a F. Okay? He is going to reach this knight and his horse. And he's going to just hack the horse's legs. This war horse, he's just going to hack the heck out of this war horse. Hack it and bash it with his shield. Just marches up. He does have -1, but that's okay because he had +2 anyway in a melee attack. This war horse has an AC of 14. So his first roll with his hand axe, he's he's a dwarf too. So dwarves and warriors roll what's called a deed die, and he's level 2, so his deed die is 1d4, which is a 1d8 divided by 2. So you get to roll that, you get to add it to your attack and your and damage. So effectively, he's rolled basically a 20. So he's hitting this horse, and his damage is going to be 1d6 +2 plus his that D die. So 1d6 +2 is 6 because of just because of his melee damage modifier, because his strength is 16. So that's 6 +3 is 9 points of damage. He bites into the right where the neck and the butt of the haunches, right into the haunches of this horse. It hits so hard that it makes our stomach sick in the stands. Like, oh God, the horse screams, and he follows it up. He hits, and that's just he adds insult to injury when he throws up the his shield to bash it in its face. Now he can do a shield bash as an additional action with but he rolls it at a 1d14, which is 1d14. I don't have a 1d14 die yet. Thanks, Narf. I'll try not to look away from the camera. Yeah. Or I'll talk louder when I'm looking away. That's what I'll do. All right, so 1d14. To get that, you roll 1d20. Okay, yeah. So he rolls a 1d14 Rolling 11, he gets his D die. Still, rolls a D die again, which is 1d4. It's 1. So he rolls a 12 plus 2 for the melee is 13, and the AC was 14. He hits the horse in pain, rears up. He goes to hit it with the shield, and because it reared up, he misses his head. So Owlbear didn't get to do the 1-2 punch like he wanted to. Oh, hit -1 too. So yeah, he definitely want to hit him. That one didn't affect the first roll because he got over 20 with the first roll. Yeah. Did he roll a 4? So how I should have played that just now. I've got to get used to playing with this deed die because warriors and dwarves can do called shots, basically, where he could have said, I could have said, he's walking up, he's doing a mighty throw. His intent is to de-horse the knight. So, or either de-horse the knight, like hit the saddle, and break the saddle in the same time hitting the horse. And if he would have said that, and if he would have rolled, he rolled a 1d4. If he would have rolled a 3 or more, he would have succeeded in that action. And he did. He rolled a 4. No, he didn't. No, he rolled a the hell did I roll? 3. Yeah, so he would have succeeded, and the knight would have fallen off the horse. But we didn't, and I'm gonna play what was played. So anyway, so he hit the horse though. The horse is hurting pretty bad. He did 9 points of damage. So the horse is 6 left. 6 hit points. That was Owlbear's turn. Now we're back to Brick. Brick, if you remember, he's racing across the field. He pulls up the reins before he goes into the inky darkness. He's not dumb. He's not going in there. He takes a quick look around, and then he takes off for the very quick. We're gonna let him do it where he pulls up and turns, because in combat you get 1 move and 1 action with your action die. So we're gonna have him moving and turning as 1 action. He holds up, comes around, and races towards the knight. He is going to pull out a javelin. That's going to be his action, though. One of the Teeter's pokers. He's going to pull out one of Teeter's pokers, and it looks like he's going to be throwing a javelin while racing towards the knight on his next turn. Which is the knight's turn. The knight, his horse rears up. He gives it a signal, and it starts racing off. To go out of range of well, will he do that? What's he got here? He's got a war club. Yeah. Is there a penalty for disengagement? Let's check that. I don't remember necessarily that there is, but withdrawal. Okay, yeah, you can't withdraw without triggering a free attack from the other person. So this knight, we're gonna do this from now on. This knight, he's got a war club in his hand. Oh no, he's got the lance in his hand, so you have to drop that. He's not gonna pull out the club until he gets off the horse. The lance is a ranged weapon, so he's gonna kick the horse into gear and race out. But because he does that, Owlbear gets a chance to throw another hand axe at and he's gonna. Owlbear wants to cut down the horse. He's not necessarily a nice person. Yeah. He rolls a 4 though, so he misses. The horse gets out of the way. He's not able to hit it. The Amber Thane rides out a bit, turning around and shoots him with the lance. Or Or you shoot brick with the lance. I'm not going to have him turn around. That'd be too much of an action. What's the knight rears up, the horse rears up. He runs past Owlbear, and as he's riding past Owlbear, he takes a shot with his lance at Sunburn. She's armored. She's an armored, one of the other armored people that's standing in the back, towards the door. So he takes a shot at her. He doesn't even have to roll. He just hits her. And she's got to do a fort save. Yeah. She rolls a 15. She gets hit. She closes her mouth and stuff, and the amber liquid flows over her. She brushes herself off, but she did not get any of it in her mouth or become inebriated. Okay, so that's her. And no, that was him. Tonight he runs and he's going to be turning around. He hits her and he's going to be turning her back around to head back down towards Owlbear. Our guy in the tower looks like he's been watching very intently, but then he notices one of the players kind of turn their head and he ducks back down. Still have no idea what that guy's all about. Tina's up. She just watched her wolf die, and when the wolf died, all the little demons disappeared as well. It looks like she's getting her bow out, and she's moving. She's gonna move back towards the wall to hug the wall, and more to the east, because it looks like she's got a longbow, so she needs a little bit of the room. It looks like she's setting herself up to be kind of off to the side. We'll revisit her next. It's the beekeeper's up. The beekeeper's bee. I wonder if the bee would care about the darkness. Would the bee stop or just keep going in? Is it single-minded? Let's see. What does darkness do? Darkness. You're blind. Okay, so he's blinded. If he goes in there, he's blind. Okay, the bee doesn't go into the darkness. He just goes. The bee, the giant bee, and the bee's like this big. It's a big bee. It's bee nasty for a reason. It begins circling the 20-foot round kind of area of darkness. It's buzzing around there. Meanwhile, the beekeeper himself, he's shaking off his failure of casting the last spell, it looks like. And it looks like he's pulling out what apparently is a short bow. No. He waves his hands again. He doesn't pull out the short bow. He's going to cast another spell. His base spell check is +4. He does pretty good. That wouldn't have helped him. That didn't help him last time though. So he's hitting at 18. The beekeeper puts up his hands to the sky, and suddenly we all hear this loud buzzing. Like we couldn't really hear the buzzing of the bee, but now it's amplified and the whole stadium can hear bzzz. The time of the beekeeper has happened. I can only guess it was a little bit of a save face tactic with him, because he lost his he failed the spell roll of his last spell. But it does we can't see the effect on the goblins, but it doesn't seem to affect the knight at all. But it does give the crowd something to cheer about, because the beekeeper has arrived. All right, our goblins are stuck in the middle of the darkness. Um, if we were close by, we'd hear the clanging of them. Some of them running into each other and trying to figure out a way out of this darkness. But they're a little bit they're in a bit of trouble. They have no idea what's going on. They're out of the fight for the moment. Brings us back to the cause of this darkness, who is sunburn. So she just got hit by this knight. She doesn't have any ranged weapons. She's got a mace, which she has out. Um, she's gonna start. She's gonna start heading out towards the middle of the field. She's gonna start walking. Um, actually, so the knight, as I said, the knight ran past Owlbear towards them, took a shot at her, and then started pulling its horse around at the end there. He's closer to her. She can rush out. She's going to rush out and see if she can't hit him with her mace. She's got her mace out. She gives a battle cry to her. She worships Apollo. She's known for worshiping Apollo, and a huge believer. That's why, hence her name. And she comes running up, screaming Apollo's name, swinging the mace. She's swinging for the knight himself. She wants to knock him off. She's not going to go for the horse. What's our... Okay, the knight himself has got an armor class of 17. Whoa. And she rolled it. 17 plus 2. She actually got a 19. She connects with the... Let's see what kind of damage she does, and then we'll decide what actually happens. She does 5. She does 7 points of damage. So, yeah, so she hits him. She hits him in the waist. And the horse, it causes the horse to sidestep a bit, and he swings around. And she did dent up his armor a bit, or like she did connect with what was beneath, whatever's beneath. Okay, so she does much damage. Shbong! We hear the ringing throughout the stadium. The crowd cheers for her having hit the knight. And now it's Owlbear's turn. Owlbear, who watched the horse fly by him. You see him. Let's see here. How far did the horse go? Dwarves can't move very far, but the horse probably went. Oh wait, hold on. We know how far it went. We know the stats. So it can move 60 feet. So it moves 60 feet. So he is not. So you see him shake himself off, set his shoulders, and start walking towards the knight back down the field. That's what owlbear's doing. They're like honey badgers, our owlbears. Bad news. Brick has readied himself a javelin. He's racing across the field. He's going to be able to get there in time. Well, he's going to be able to definitely roll up. He throws a javelin at the knight. I'm sorry, one of Teeter's pokers. And the javelin flies harmlessly past the knight. The crowd goes, "Aww!" And Badger, you see Badger shake his head, and you see him reach in, and it looks like he's taking out his signature, one of his signature daggers, with the other hand holding the reins. Looks like he's gonna close in on the Amber Thane with his daggers next. The Thane, the knight, seeing both, he just got hit from sunburn, but he sees the other horse and the javelin goes by him. He sees the other horse comes. He aims his lance at the other horse and hits Brick with a big stream of the amber liquid. I'm sorry, what am I rolling for? He hits automatically because it's pretty much a magic weapon. I've been acting like he can hit automatically. Yeah, he can. Um, so Brick needs to roll a 4 check. Rolls a 17. You're not gonna. Brick doesn't get drunk unless Brick wants to get drunk. And then the knight, he shoots with his lance, and then he goes running. He urges his horse to go running, which gives Sunburn another shot at hitting him. And this time she hits 17. She hits him again as he's trying to turn the horse and go away. She hits him again for 8 points of damage. He's gonna fall off. She hits him so hard that he slips on the horse and falls to the ground with a big clang. It's at this point where we notice, and she notices, that the helmet is actually, it's a big barrel helmet, and it's not actually a helmet. It looks like a head. He's some kind of weird. There's a body underneath him, underneath his armor, flesh, but the head itself looks like it's constructed. He's some kind of weird cyborg kind of thing. But he hits the ground, and he's struggling to get back up right now. The guy on top of the tower is finally doing something. It looks like he stands up, and he's pointing his gloves. It looks like he's going to cast a spell, but this let's see. Does this happen? Does he have to roll for this to happen? Nope. A bolt of lightning rips out of this guy. He's been on this. He's on top of this tower next to the stand, the bleachers. All those people, by the way, the king, the queen, all the elves is up there. They've all scattered. They're gone. This tower, it's a 30-foot tower. He's at the top. He's opens his hand. He casts out lightning. This lightning must be going to be striking one of the players, but no, it doesn't. It strikes the Amber Knight, and it doesn't seem to hurt him at all. In fact, it seems to heal him. And it does heal him for 1d6 points of damage. 5 points of damage. Sunburn. The lightning comes up. She looks up. Everybody looks up because this lightning was really hard not to see. And they see a figure ducked behind the crenellations at the top of the tower. Tina notices especially and narrows her eyes. We can almost feel the beekeeper narrowing his eyes. Whatever kind of eyes he has. Okay. So now we know something about this little dude on top of the tower and what he's all about. Supernova's up. Tina, she narrows her eyes and focuses on the towers, but he is hiding. She's not quite sure. She thinks about it. What does she have that could help? She calls out. She says something to the beekeeper, and we could swear we see his hood move, nod. Then Tina takes her longbow and takes aim at the Amber Knight as he's struggling to get up. The only visible opponent she has right now. At the end of this round, the darkness will go away. Who cast the darkness? It was Sunburn. So when her turn comes up, that's when the darkness will go away. Okay. Tina, Supernova Gosling, takes aim with her bow. She gets +3 on ranged shots. She does pretty good. But she boofs. And the arrow goes wide. It goes into the darkness, and you hear, ow! I'm kidding. No one got hurt. No one got hurt on a roll of 2. Supernova. Beekeeper. Beekeeper waves his hand. The bee that's circling the darkness heads back to its master. And then it looks like Beekeeper he's pulling something out of his robes. What crazy shit is he going to pull up? Oh, it looks like a short bow. Beekeeper is joining the ranged melee. All right, actually, the darkness probably. All right, the darkness goes now. The darkness disappears. Suddenly, as quickly as it came, the darkness is gone. The goblins are a mess, but they've realized they're now that they now can see and are jumping into action. Now we still have 12 of them. So let's see. The state of the field right now. We set the scene with the goblins see is Owlbear walking down the middle of the field towards the knight who's on the end where the player started. The Amber Thane, the knight, is on the ground. He's struggling to get up. There are between him. He is between the other set of players that came in the door and the goblins. Brick is down at that end as well, and the horse. He had just thrown the javelin. He's now got the daggers out. So they're all within 40 or 50 feet of the goblins. The goblins, one of them screams and points at Owlbear, and they all jump over the fence and start running towards Owlbear. How fast do these guys move? Let's see. Where's my goblins at? Where my goblins at? Where are they at? Where are they at? So they only move 20 feet at a time, so they're not going to be getting there too quickly. Yeah. But all 12 of them, it actually freaks the characters out because one large battle cry, and they're all the goblins are yelling it, and they all look like they're pouring over the wall, running towards Owlbear, who looks and smiles. So they're going to reach him next round. Sunburn. Okay, Sunburn's standing there. She just knocked the Amber Thane off, and she's bringing her mighty godforsaken mouse down upon the knight. Okay. Rolls a 2. Who rolls 2s? At least it's not a fumble. Fumbles suck. She misses. It bounces off his, not bounces, but it just kind of glances off his armor as he's getting up. He's getting up faster than she expected. Owlbear. At this point, he's been walking. He could walk. He could keep walking, but it wouldn't be this turn that he'd reach them because it's a good 60 feet away, and he can only move 20 feet at a time. He's a dwarf. There is that bit of a wall on the other side that the goblins are going to have to jump over, so they're going to take them a minute to get. There's a wall in the middle of the track. So what can he do to prepare for these guys? Yeah. So they're going to hit him. They're going to get to him. Oh, are they? That's the question. Okay. Oh, that's where the wall is. That's 10 feet. They got to get over a wall. They're all okay. Well, they can't got over the wall. They're racing. They got another wall to get over in the middle of the thing. Okay. So Owlbear stops. He turns his attention away from the knight this way, and he looks at the mob of goblins that are coming at him. He's calmly reaching into his belt, and it looks like he's pulling out it looks like a flask of some sort. And in his other hand, he's got, it looks like flint and steel, and he's starting something with his mouth. And he brings the flask up, and it's got a wick, and he's lighting it. Would that work like that? No, he's not going to use it as a bomb. he would throw it and then light it. Yeah. Um, okay. Actually, it's not like a grenade. He's taking out a flask. He's throwing it on the ground, and it bursts on the ground, and looks oil has spilt out in front of him, in a 10 feet in front of him, a big pool. It looks like he's got flint and steel in his hand, and he's trying to light it, and that's his turn right there. He's about to light up some fire in the middle of the thing there in front of him. Brick has ridden over. He's got his daggers out. He is going to his move. He's gonna jump off the horse. He's got his double daggers, and he's gonna go for the get right up there in the knight's face and two-handed fighting in Dungeon Crawl Classics. He's gonna be, because of his agility. His agility is high. He's got a 16. He's not penalized as much, but he's got to roll a 1d16 for both hits. But he can do both hits in one turn. So he's going in, double-fisted daggers. One rolls an 18, the other rolls a 5. He's definitely hitting with one of them, doing 1d4 plus 1. Doing 5 points of damage. He gets in there, and the second one hits. The 1-2. And he hits the knight for 5 points of damage. He scores in underneath its ribs, and he feels it bite into underneath his breastplate, and feels it bite into its ribs. Why it even has ribs? Well, into its lungs. Not sure it needs lungs. And that is Amber. That's the knight's turns next. The knight, who's standing up now, has his war club, pulls out his war club, drops his lance, and is pulling out his war club. That's his turn. That's his action. He's got to take that as his action. It's gonna be melee time. But our little dude pops back up on top of the tower, raises his little gloved hand again, and that's another bolt of lightning races down and hits the knight, healing him for 3 points of damage. And then he pops back down. Supernova, seeing the lightning, squints back up, and looks like she's going to go for casting a spell, because we saw this last game too. When she cast a certain spell, but the problem was the last game when she cast it, I think she forgot it, so we didn't know really what it was. But this bloodshot eye opens up in her forehead, just takes up her whole forehead, and she starts speaking words of power. And she rolls a 3. Plus 1 is 4, and she, whatever it was, again, she forgets it. Terrible. The crowd goes, oh. The bloodshot eye even the bloodshot eye in her forehead looks embarrassed and closes up. That was her turn. Poor Tina. Beekeeper looks at Tina as she tried to cast that spell, looks back at his bee, and he points to the tower, and his bee shoots off towards the tower. It'll be there in another turn or so. Tina was going to cast Enlarge on the bee, and that would have been pretty dope if that would have happened, but it did not. She can spell burn next turn to cast Enlarge, to attempt to cast Enlarge again. But by that point, the bee's already gone. They gotta stop this dude from healing the knight. Beekeeper orders the bee to take off. It takes off towards the tower. What is he gonna do? What else is he gonna do? He's got his short bow out. Looks like this wizard's gonna put an arrow into the knight. Or yeah, is he gonna do that? Because now things have changed. A mob of goblins are heading towards Owlbear. And there's people standing around the knight. Sunburn and Brick are right there with the knight, so shooting him with the arrow with the bow is probably not a good idea. The beekeeper looks between the two, and he starts moving towards the middle of the field. We don't know what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to get all melee up in there with the goblins, but he is heading towards... let's see. Hold on. Let's see if he could cast what I think he's going to cast from where he is. From where he is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 60, 70 feet away. What's range? Oh, 50 feet or 50 feet or more. Oh, 50 feet or more. Okay. All right. Beekeeper, well, he can move and act. So that's why telling his bee to go wasn't an act. So he moves just to get himself a little bit closer range, about 20, 30 feet out. And then we see him begin to cast. Roll better than a 2, you know, right? 15. That is better than a 2. He's 15 plus 4. He's rolling a 19. Plus 4, yeah, 19. Right on. Let's see how this spell manifests. His mercurial effect isn't something you can... His mercurial effect for this spell is he can cast as a proxy. He could have cast it on his bee. Oh, shit. Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be really cool. Okay. What he could have done, he sent his bee up to start stinging the hell out of this guy that's in this tower, right? What he could have done was, because of his special mercurial effect when he casts the spell Choking Cloud, he could have cast it on the bee and had it go off when he got up on the tower. It's kind of like a little, like a bomb, like a stink bomb. But he rolled really good. He's casting it on the goblins, or at least he's casting it on the mob of goblins that are coming across at Owlbear. So that's what's going down. The effect is, we watch him raise his hands, and this blue cloud of vapors and smoke start rolling out of his hands across the field towards the angry mob of goblins. And right? No, wait, he rolled a 19. Yep. He moves it. This cloud moves and sits right in front of, kind of in front of where it kind of covers, like, anybody. The goblins are going to have to go through it to get to Owlbear, but they're also going to have to go through it to go the way he kind of positioned it. Is they're going to have to deal with it or go all the way around it in order to get to the battle with the knight, and the battle with the knight. So nothing's happening just as of yet. We're going to see what the goblins are going to be doing, which is now. The goblins, the momentum. So he cast Choking Cloud. It's a poisonous acidic cloud. It's going to give them... 1d4. Let's actually do this. How many rounds is this going to be around? 1d4 plus... So 4 rounds is the poisonous thing. 4 rounds. And it gives people -2 penalty to all rolls. And you take 1 point of damage each round. So they're all at the current moment when he casts this spell and he puts it there, they're leaping over the middle fence of this thing, all clamoring over, heading towards, and thinking they're gonna gang up on Owlbear. They have a lot of momentum. They're jumping over this. They're heading into this cloud. They got to get through. They got to cover a little bit more distance before they get to Owlbear and attack him. And they got to go through this cloud too. They're all going to take a point of damage for entering the cloud. We'll say the first 6, I'll take a point of damage. The other 6 kind of stop before going in, deciding, oh no, you know what? Screw it. They're all charging in through that. They're just gonna. They're not terribly afraid. It's all kind of happening. Besides, they got their buddy up in the tower who's healing. So they're coming through coughing, but they're thinking in their minds they're running through the cloud right at Owlbear, the dwarf. Okay, so they'll be on him next round. Sunburn. She takes yet another swing. She's moved around. Because well, she can move. She's gonna move around because Brick is up in this guy's face with his knives. So she moves around to hit him from behind, or the knight is trying to kind of work them both. And she swings, and she hits for 18. She has been rolling really good. She does 3 points of damage on this foo, which takes care of the 3 that he got healed. Her mace once again hits shield and bone. Owlbear lights his flint and steel and throws it down, and now this poisonous cloud is also a bunch of freaking fire in front of him. There's a lot of goblins that are on fire right now. We're going to say half of them, as they come charging through, are on fire. Or are about to be on fire. Let's look up the rules on fire. I think they have to make a saving throw. Oh, well, obviously they probably have to make some kind of save. But what's the instant damage? Oh, I know. I have it set up. Okay. When ignited, oil causes 1d6 damage plus fire, and you do a save versus reflex to put out or suffer additional 1d6 damage each round. Okay. All right, so each one of them, we're going to say the front 6 that are coming through are taking d6 points of damage. We'll roll for each one. One just screaming's on fire and runs the other way. He's not going to survive. Other one catches on badly on fire, but he isn't dead. Looks like one's dead. Another one super hurting. Kinda on fire. A little on fire. And one of them just got like his arm's on fire. We have one goblin down, 2 severely wounded, severely on fire. One is kind of hurt, and then 2 more that are so, they were kind of trailing behind. The other 6, I'm going to give a chance to dodge out of the way. Where are their stats at? I'll give them reflex saves to move, to turn before they come colliding into the guys who are on fire already. Let's see. Oops. Reflex saves at +2. I'll give them a DC of 10. There's 6 of them. Let's just roll 60 10s. 2. Oh, wow. 2 of them veer out of the way. And the other, they're at -2 for all rolls because of the choking cloud as well. But they still make it. 4 of them do not. So those 4 taking D6 damage. One's dead. One's very hurt. Two are kind of hurt. On fire, that is. Two of them are not on fire and avoided the fire. So we got a bunch of goblins on fire and choking now. Owlbear is just smiling. He is that was his turn. Brick. He's working the he is working the knight. Brick comes in with his 2 daggers. He crit. Okay, sweet. All right, he's rolling. Okay, so Brick had to roll a 1d16 in order to hit with one of his daggers. He rolled a 16, which means he crit. So we get to roll in the crit table. His crit die at the moment is 1d12, which means he rolls that, and we check the crit table chart for him, which is 2. Love me some charts. Oh, here we go. All right, crit table 2, and he rolled an 8. Strike cuts a line down foe's face. He is blinded by blood for 1d4 rounds. So, all right, for 1 round, the knight cannot see. He's blinded by, well, it's not blood. It's oil. Yeah. Some kind of liquid that looks maybe like oil, but it doesn't look like blood. Is coursing or pooling in the construct's eyes. And it just happens to be its turn. It reels back. It can't see. It takes a wild swing with its war club. It's blind, so you get. Let's see. Let's penalize blinded. I guess you really don't get a chance to. I mean, he can swing blindly. We'll have him swing blindly, but at a huge penalty, like D14 penalty. He rolls a 12. Plus 3 is 15. He is going to hit Brick. Brick gets hit. But by this war club. He does 1d7 plus 2. We're just going to roll 1d8 and re-roll if we go d8. 4 points of damage. So with this war club, the knight blindly swings out. He connects with Brick because he's up in his face and does 4 points of damage. Where are you, Brick? There you are. All right. I have to take a quick break to let the dogs out. I am the one who let the dogs out. I will be right back. Now, a word from our sponsor. Come on down to Teeter's Pleasure Palace. Do you feel like torturing travelers? Are you a traveler that wants to be tortured? This is how it works. Take punishment to earn tokens. Use those tokens to inflict pain to receive tokens. The more tickets you earn, the better the prize. Tonight's grand prize is a built-in pool of lava, complete with chains and willing participants. Fan of just watching? We're recording Naughty Sessions live after the show as a pay-per-view event. Watch as we beat the daddy issues out of hundreds of people. Teeter's Pleasure Palace. What the hell is wrong with you? All right, we are back. And one hell of an epic fight going on right now. The Amber Thane just took a wild shot and hit Drew, which actually is first blood, I think, with our characters. Our characters are doing pretty well against this whole bunch. The little dude on top of the tower is peeking his head up again. Looks like he's going to be doing the exact same thing. He's a one-trick pony, folks. How many times can he do this glove thing? He shoots lightning down yet again to hit the knight from hundreds of feet away. Magic. Is it fair? Here. Let's roll. Let's go back to here. He is healing him. 4 points of damage. This knight dude. Can Be Nasty get to him in time before he completely heals the Amber Knight? We shall see. Supernova's up. Tina Supernova Gosling. Let's see. She failed a spell. We're going to give her a free action because she's failed her spell to get her longbow back. And take a shot. That's part of a move. As part of our move, she's reaching down, grabbing her longbow because she probably dropped it to cast her spell. And let's see. She's taking aim at a goblin. We've got 2 goblins down, which means there's 10 left in varying degrees of hurt. She's just going to fire right into the mess of them. She squints. You can feel her concentration from all the way up here in the stands. What is the AC of our goblins? The AC of our goblins is 13. I should know that. Right there. 20. Tina crits. And I'm pretty sure she's rolling at 1d8, I think. So she rolled an 8 as well. Strike cuts a line down a foe's face. He is blinded by blood. But I think actually he's dead. I think whichever one she hit is dead because she's doing 1d6 plus 3 points of damage. She's doing 4 points of damage, and there aren't many that have that. So she hits a goblin square in the head, right through the eyeball. What that meant is she hit one right through the eyeball. His head explodes and blood gushes out, and it falls down. It was a mercy kill because the poor thing was on fire anyway. Beekeeper. How fast does this bee move, you think? I think a bee can move pretty fast, right? I'd say at this point it can move, and it takes it above the tower, and I can't see it having got there already. It's gonna be at the tower. Next round, it's gonna be able to do something and engage the dude on top of the tower, but the bee is almost there. Meanwhile, the beekeeper is focusing on this choking cloud. Does he have to remain focusing on it, or can he do something else while it's going? Inquiring minds want to know. 134. By the way, anybody watching who wants to speak up and say, hey, what somebody should be doing, please do. Like right now, Beekeeper has He's cast Choking Cloud. We're checking to see if he has the concentrate. I don't think he necessarily does have to. He can just direct it by concentrating, which means he doesn't have to keep concentrating. He's got Force Manipulation as another spell, which he can craft basically force balls, or he can make force kind of fields and that kind of thing with it. He also has a short bow, so he can bounce around between a couple different things. I don't think he's going to cast a spell. The Choking Cloud, the goblins are in the middle of the Choking Cloud right now. I think he's going to take the easy shots. He's got his bow. He's going to take an easy shot into the crowd of goblins to start thinning out the... Because they're going to be going soon, and that might not be all that great for Owlbear. So we'll go that. He's going to take a shot. He gets +2. He's going to 14. He hits a goblin. He'd be doing 1d6 +1. He deals 2 points of damage. I didn't really say which one he was aiming at. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 9 left. So I'm just going to roll 1d8. Okay. His short bow hits a goblin, a flaming goblin, right in the chest, and puts it down. It puts the poor creature down. Beekeeper. The buzz gets loud. The buzz in the stands joins it. Beekeeper, beekeeper. The beekeeper is a crowd favorite. It is the poor flaming goblin's turn. There are 8 left. We should probably roll morale on these guys. We really should. We'll roll them as a group. They got to get over... they need to get over 10 in order to stick around without just taking off, I believe. I'm going to double check DCC's morale. I tend to forget checking for morale because I just get in the heat of battle and thinking like, yeah, it's just fight to the death. Why would anybody ever run away? Well, maybe because you're on fire and in a fucking cloud of choking stuff. I think you'd want to run, even if you're a goblin. Especially maybe if you're a goblin. Oh, wait, where the hell? Let's go to combat. Here? No. Here we go. So when in doubt, check the book. There we go. Maybe we're doing any creature. Oh, will save 11 or higher. Keep fighting. Okay, so the goblins' will is they at -1. They roll an 18, so they got a 17. So these guys are getting paid really well. Apparently, if any of them survive this encounter, they get an extra bonus. And these guys are chaotic, right? And they just watched 4 of their other dudes die. That means there's 4 shares that they're all going to be able to split, the ones that are left. So they're not going anywhere. They're regrouping. They're racing towards what they plan on doing, which is fighting through this fire now, this poisonous cloud, to attack this big dumb dwarf that they think needs to die. So they come swarming in. There's 8 of them. They come swarming in on Owlbear, who's just smiling, waiting for him. This is his game. Yeah. Okay. So they all have their little hand axes out. They get a +2 with them. This might not be good for Owlbear. We might see Owlbear go down right in the beginning. Oh well. Hold on. The poisonous cloud that they're fighting through is going to take -2 off them, so that gets rid of their +2 anyway. So they're rolling straight. But also 1 point of damage per round means 2 goblins are dead, choking. The other ones who are on fire need to roll on fort saves. they need to roll a save to see if they continue to be on fire or can put themselves out. So they're actually there's only a couple of these that can attack them. The other ones are trying to put themselves out. There's no attacking while you're trying to not be on fire anymore. Right? Would anybody disagree or agree with me? Yeah, reflex. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are on fire. 1, 2, 3, 4. They need to. They need to make 11. No, 10. -2, because of the choking cloud. And then their four saves are at 0, so they don't get any kind of bonuses. So it looks like 2 of them are still on fire. You're going to take D6 points of damage and are dead. The other 2 stop being on fire, manage to put themselves out, but they're not going to be attacking this round. And then 2 of them who are not managed to get through this without being on fire, but still taking a point of damage from the choking gas, come through to attack Owlbear with their hand axes. One rolls an 18, the other one rolls a 5. So one of them is connecting, gets up, and they come charging out of the mist. Owlbear's ready for him. One comes and he blocks one with a shield. The other one gets through with its hand axe and connects, doing 1d4 plus 1. 5 points of damage. It cuts deep. You cut me, Shrek. You cut me real deep. Yeah. Okay. 15. Okay. Owlbear gets hit good. Gets hit good. Not that it's good that he got hit. Crowd goes wild because it's always fun to see the heroes get. I mean, you can't just have them wipe out everybody and not get hurt. I mean, this is good. A guy like Owlbear needs to get to hurt. But Sunburn and Brick are locked in a death battle with this knight who keeps getting healed. She is gonna. She can't think of anything she wants to do. Like, she's filled with battle rage. She's just gonna keep pounding on this thing with her mace. She's been hitting so good, but now her hits are starting to miss. She glances off. It manages to hit her arm, and she's not able to hit it with her mace. It's Owlbear's turn. Owlbear takes the hit from the goblin and smiles, and he strikes at that one with his hand axe, and hits for 18. Well, way more than 18. He almost crits, doing d6 plus 4. All right, so the one that hit him, he brings his hand axe down, completely cleaving off its head, and then he uses a shield, the Teeter Saucy Saucer, to bash the other one. He rolls a d14 for that one, which is, oh shit. Okay, he rolls a d4. I didn't do this with the last thing either. He gets to roll his d die, so we're gonna re-roll that. He rolls a 2. That's not even the right d die. That's d6. He needs to roll this. He is not hitting with the shield. He goes to hit the other one with a shield, and it dances out of the way. These aren't, like we said, these are professional goblins. But one of them is dead. Definitely dead. Head's rolling around on the ground. Owlbear lets out his Owlbear signature roar, which gets the crowd going. We're all ready now. The fucking field's on fire. There's a poisonous gas. There's this giant bee heading for this guy in the tower. And Brick's turn. Brick grits his teeth. He's got his double daggers out. He's circling this knight. he looks over. He's hoping this bee will take care of the guy who keeps healing him. And he goes in for what he thinks is the kill. D16s. All right. What's he got? He gets 1d3 plus 2. He is 15, but this knight's still rocking a 17 AC. He hits both. So him and Sunburn have hit they're not hitting. The knight is less blinded now and is managing to outmaneuver their maneuvers. They might need to do something else. It is the knight's turn. He turns his attention to the person who's kept consistently hitting him, which is Sunburn. And he can see now her through the haze of his oil blood stuff. And he takes a swing at her with his war club. And he rolls a 17 plus 3 is 20. He's definitely hitting Sunburn with his war club. He does 1d7 plus 2. Just so we know, a 1d7 is calculated by D8. You just re-roll if you roll a D8. So he's doing 7 points of damage with his war club. He returns the bang bang on Sunburn. 7 points of damage. Boom. He hits her hard. We all hear it. He swings it. Oof. We hear it hit her. We hear her get hit. You hear it right through the shield. Like right through her breastplate. Yep. So there's that. And guess who pops up? So the guy in the tower pops up and he sees this huge bee heading towards him. And this time he doesn't raise the glove. This time we see him do something different. He is going to cast a spell. We see him cast a spell, like he makes the maneuvers to cast a spell, but then we see him go, you see him swearing, vulgar, he's yelling, and he hides back down. And I think maybe he failed that roll. Maybe he forgot a spell. How's it feel? Tina. So, Tina takes aim at yet another goblin. One of the ones that's gotten itself unflaming. Who is no longer flaming? 17. So she hits with a 20. She does 1d6 plus 3. She does 4 points of damage, and another one bites the dust. This goblin goes like this, pats the last bit of the fire off, is like, gets it right in the throat, falls. Tina makes a note to herself to add another notch to her bow. That goblin's dead. We have, by my calculations, 2 goblins left. 2 goblins left. Beekeeper. The beekeeper's bee finally buzzes over the parapet and, with its massive stinger out, goes in for the sting. What is this dude's armor class? He is rocking an armor class of drumroll 11. This little robe dude only has 11. The beekeeper's bee, bee nasty, has plus 5 attack. It rolls an 8, but plus 5 is 13. He's doing 1d6 plus 1. This bee does not mess around. He's doing 4 points of damage. He stings this guy. The guy screams. Ah! He's not used to getting hit. He hides. Okay. So, what did I say? 4 points of damage? Yeah. Okay. And, oh no, that's not, the beekeeper's not over yet. His turn's not over yet. The beekeeper, he's liking this shooting goblins in a barrel kind of thing. So he takes aim with his short bow at yet another one of the goblins that shook the fire off itself. He rolls an 11 plus 2 is 13. So he hits a goblin, doing 6 plus 1. Oh, that's not how much damage he does. Doing 3 points of damage, which kills it. Kills it. Beekeeper. The buzz is real. We are back. The goblins, there is one left. He is circling Owlbear. He's the one that dodged out of the way with the Owlbear tried to bash him with his shield. And he narrows his eyes. He can take this short little man out. For sure, right? He rolls a 13. He has plus 3, I believe. Plus 3? No, plus 2. No, plus nothing because of the poison cloud. Which is just about over with probably right now. But it doesn't matter. He doesn't hit 16. He does not hit. It clangs. His hand axe clangs uselessly off of Owlbear's shield. Sunburn, what are you doing, girl? Are you going to keep trying to bang endlessly on this knight? Or is there something else you're going to do? She's going to go for it. She's feeling pretty confident. Oh wait, she got hit pretty hard. That's right. She got hit like really hard. Do you think she would take the time to try to heal herself, like back away? Or was she... No, that's not how she rolls. She's going in for the kill. She rolls an 18, so she hits this guy again. She's back. 1d6 plus 1. She hits him for 7. So, he's not down yet. He's not down yet, but he hits her. She screams and she hits him. She comes back and she hits it as hard as she can in its own chest and knocks it back, shatters its breastplate, and it's ready for the next hit of the lightning, if you know what I mean. But is the lightning coming this time? We don't know. Owlbear, grinning, smiles big at the goblin who just tried to hit him, and then swings his own axe. 7. What's a 7? He grins. Maybe he's found a worthy throw. Probably not a worthy foe, but probably not. It's just a goblin, right? Where he swings with his hand axe. The goblin actually blocks him with his own hand axe. King catches it. This makes Owlbear even more happy. This is definitely a worthy foe. Brick. The knight staggers back. Its breastplate open. Brick goes in trying to shove both of his daggers into the place where the chest plate is opened. D16. Okay. Wow. So the 20 I have to ignore because wow, it's another 20. Holy crap. 18. All right, one's a crit, the other one's a hit. Plus what's he got? He got plus 2. No. So he's rolling 1d16 because he's using both. That's why I had to keep rolling those 20s, is because to get a 1d16, I just roll a 1d20, ignore, I think, and just ignore, ignore rolls over 16. So, but that 16 is a crit. So 1d12 on the second. So this crit might mean that we're finally done with this night. He rolls 1d8 on the crit 7. Strike to chest. Look at this. How awesome is that? Strike to chest, grazes vital organ. Inflict 3 plus 3d4 damage with his strike. So he is doing, I screwed up with, backtrack. But he's doing 3 plus... No, I'm sorry. The daggers do 1d4. He's going to be doing 4d4 points of damage. So let's roll 4d4s. That sounds like fun. 3, 5, 6, 7. So he goes in. She hits the knight with her mace, cracks open the armor. He goes in. One of his daggers catches on the kind of glances off the shattered breastplate, but the other one sinks deep in, and he must hit the heart because there's a squeal and a mechanical sound, and then the knight falls, and it is down, and it's gone, and the crowd goes nuts. Officials blow whistles, and suddenly referees on a thing, and the goblin that's left alive with the hand axe drops his and steps back, and the guy in the tower stands up. He's like, "Don't let him sting me again! Don't let him sting me again!" And the whistles blow, and the challenge is won by the party. Yeah. Everybody kind of is all right, but here's the thing: they have to keep going. They can't heal themselves. Well, they can heal themselves and stuff if they want to, but there's no like resting and that kind of stuff. They've got to continue on. But the treasure that they win for this round looks like the team's going to win 2,000 gold pieces, a pass good for a full year of movies for them and a guest. And then, this is interesting. One of them, and they're going to give the coin to Sunburn. She receives what's called a rec coin. And this coin has a thumbs up on the side, one side, and a thumbs down on the other. And she gets to use it to have one action be re-rolled, whether it's an enemy's or hers, on any dice check, and then it'll disappear. So she gets to keep that for the future challenges within this dungeon. And now they're ready to. The party is ready. That's as much rest as they get. They get the treasure and they got to go. But because that epic battle took as long as it did, that's going to be it for tonight. That was super fun. Tune in next Saturday for the next part of whatever the next battle is. I thought maybe we were going to get into the next battle. The next battle is going to be, it should be even more epic than that one. And epic in a different way, though. Really looking forward to it. Saturdays are XCrawl. Friday nights are the campaign that I'm running with different characters. It's a first level campaign. We're playing Intrigue at the Court of Chaos, another Dungeon Crawl Classics official module. If you're digging what you're seeing, please follow me. If you speak up right now and name a character, we'll give that character that played the night next Saturday. We'll give that character +1 to any of its checks for its first couple of rounds next week. We'll count you as a sponsor. So do that now before I hang up. Other than that, it was awesome. Thanks for joining me, and I will check you next week. Viva la Dungeon!